Hi guys. Um, I wanted to talk to you today a little about faith. Um, Not just in terms of as in religious faith, but in terms of faith in people around you, in terms of um, curative practices, in terms of medicine, your doctors. Um, I've been watching some videos recently from a girl called Sam, whose handle is Holly Daisy Rose. Um, she practices Wicca and uses crystal healing and some alternative practices to treat her anxiety and some mental health issues that she has. Um, Now, she spoke quite a lot about empathy. I've been told before that I am I have the ability to relate to people beyond my experiences and beyond my age. Um, and I've been told before that I do have this ability, and from listening to her and from listening to kind of the description of what she perceives um, like complete empathy to be, um, in terms of being able to get a very, very good impression of someone just from talking to them once, or just from meeting them, or from kind of assessing their aura that they give off. Um, I seem to think that actually, yeah, although obviously I don't have it as strongly as her, because she finds it actually kind of impinges on her life quite a bit, because she's always feeling, um, she feels quite a lot of what other people are feeling, and um, that kind of thing. I don't have that. I just seem to be able to connect with people very quickly, very easily, and have a very accurate impression of someone very, very quickly. And a couple of times I've kind of ignored my instincts about people, with the opinion that, oh, you've been judgmental, you've judged them too quickly. And the three times that I've done that, I've been burnt by people that I've kind of really tried to like. And no, my first impression was absolutely spot on, and yet they weren't people that I needed to be spending time with. But yeah, no, she talks quite a lot about crystal healing, and I've invested recently in some crystals, after my auntie told me to, because she goes to sleep holding crystals, and it helps her sleep a little bit better, and she uses them to help her meditate and to help her just collect her thoughts together, if you don't want to call it meditating. And one of mine came today. Now this is an ametrine. It's got properties of amethyst and citrine, and it's got properties in calming and helping with depression, um, and lots of generally useful things that I could be doing with. um, this one I got off a seller on eBay. Um, They are mined from parts of Bolivia and recently been found in parts of Brazil, but they're the only two places in the world that have natural ametrine. And um, it's beautiful and it's lovely, and I haven't cleansed it yet, or consecrated it, but I have collected some rainwater, and I've got some sea salt for charging it. Unfortunately, I'm at the wrong end of the lunar month, so I won't be able to give it a moon bath tonight, or probably not for about 2 weeks. But my other one, I did charge over the 3 nights of a big moon. I wasn't certain which night was the full moon, so I left it out there for 3 days. Or 3 nights anyway, I put it back on in between. Now, the property of the salt, Sam tells me, is because it absorbs all the negative thoughts. And that's really important when you've received something through the post, because you don't know who it's come into contact with and what negative energies it's collected on the way, and the previous owner, or the seller anyway, what kind of negative impression that it's picked up from there. She tells me that this is a very powerful stone. It's very magnetic. It's got a great pulse. But anyway, it's beautiful. And yeah, the other one that I've got is a clear quartz and tourmaline stone, and it's on a pendant around my neck, and I've got it on the perfect length chain so that it actually sits over my heart, because this is one that's for your heart chakra. This one is for your third eye chakra, and this one is for dealing with pain, and they're both healing crystals. Anyway, so I wouldn't say that I have faith in this. I've just enjoyed learning about it, and as I always enjoy learning about new ideas and other people's beliefs. And yeah, honestly, if I can just have something that it doesn't need to help, it just needs to encourage me to meditate and stay calm. I need these things to kind of hold on to in order to help me deal with my pain. And honestly, I don't feel it matters whether it works or not, if it means that I will be spending 10 minutes every, 8 hours or whatever, holding it, closing my eyes, doing some deep breathing. If that's also going to just be a healthy thing for me to do to try and get some of my muscles to relax. I'm really sorry about my laptop. I'm balancing it on my lap, and my legs are so shaky today that that my laptop is pouncing about a bit, so I hope it's not too shaky, this video. I hope the sound's alright. I already started one video and realised that the microphone was turned off, so that was of no use. And was a great source of annoyance. Think. Right, so what I wanted to say about Christianity was the fact that my faith has very much not come naturally to me. My faith has mainly come from exposure to people who I've had a good vibe off. 3 of the most influential people in my spiritual life have been Kath Holloway, my Girls Brigade captain. For those of you who don't know, Girls Brigade is kind of a more religious form of brownies. It's closely associated with the Baptist and Methodist Church, and bases all of its practices mainly on the teachings of the faith. And you have badges to do, but they're not random skill badges. You do spiritual, educational, spiritual. Hang on, have I just said that one twice? No, I'm being an idiot. Service, spiritual, educational, and physical. And you need to do 4 badges a year when you're young to get your badge at the end of the year, and then that goes up as you go through all of the different groups. You have to do 5 badges in your senior years, and brigaders you have to do 6 badges. Yeah, so my Girls Brigade captain's been very influential, and she's a beautiful person. She has a lovely way about her. She's very calm, she's lovely, and she's one of the most forgiving people and the most trusting people. And I would say that she doesn't have a very good judge of people, because she gives everyone the benefit of the doubt about 10 chances each. David Bidnell was my minister when I was much younger, and was a remarkable man. He's now moved away, and he's not in our circuit anymore. And Mike Hall is another minister that I've had, but at a different church. Both of them have been Methodist church that I attend. And I think my faith has mainly been based on the fact that I've had such respect for these people, and I've got such good vibes off them. If you want to call that empathy, or if you just want to call it getting on with people, call it whatever you like. I've honestly believed in my heart of hearts that these people do not have the capacity to lie. So whatever they're telling me, they believe it to be the complete truth. And in that case, I'm happy to listen to everything that they've had to say, because whether I believe it or not, they obviously really do. And I've respected their faith so much that I've been willing to learn more and more. And I think I've always, I'd say since the age of about 8, I've always kind of respected Christianity in the educational sense more than felt this one-to-one connection with God. As with most believers, everyone goes through phases, and everyone goes through real dry spells of not feeling anything and just going because it's the routine, or just praying because it's a prayer that you've always said every night, or if you say grace before meals, it's just because you've always done it. I found that quite hard, really, because I have felt that Friday night's a Girls' Brigade night, Sunday morning's a church day, and it has become a bit of a humdrum routine. Not necessarily because I really wanted to be going, but because it's what I did. But I would say that I have been well influenced by these people, and I've been able to make educational decisions based on their teachings. And I honestly think that if I believed any more than I do, I would find it even harder to deal with my chronic pain, because the teachings all say, that children are innocent and God loves everybody and God never gives us more than we can handle. But then my mental health issues have always told me, in terms of, I've told myself, that I'm not coping and I'm not doing well, and I have been suicidal on multiple occasions, and you know what, again in the last 6 weeks. And I honestly can't see how a loving God can make people feel that horrendous about themselves. And that's just on the mental side, before I even get into my physical pain and the fact that I work so hard generally in my life, at my friendships, at my studies, all in a way that I felt a few years ago was the way that God wanted me to serve him. And he's put every single barrier in my way that could possibly be: the fatigue, the physical pain, the inability to walk some days when I need to be able to study or able to work in the pharmacy. And this was all because I honestly felt that when I went to work, and I did a night shift on the transplant unit at Harefield Hospital when I was 13 years old, 14 when I was in year 9 on work experience. I honestly felt that to work in a hospital and help people in terms of whatever they needed to be in my hands, whether it be, originally I wanted to be an obstetrician, you see, and that was going to entail carrying out abortions, delivering babies, and providing prenatal care, and obviously gynae as well. And this was supposed to be so I could enrich people's lives, whether that be through giving them a child that they desperately wanted, helping save children and mothers' lives in order to complete the lives of husbands and the rest of the family, or whether it be helping a lady get rid of a baby that she feels will ruin her life. I always felt that that was my calling, and when that didn't work out, and I then couldn't be a nurse because of my medical conditions, I thought, right, okay, back to basics. Pharmacy, helping people help themselves, helping people look after themselves, take responsibility for their own health, and keep them educated in a way that means they can manage their conditions. I'm running out of time. That's just kind of an overview on the difficulties I've had in my faith, because I've always felt, because I was doing so much for him, all he'd done was given me a wonderful, wonderful mother and family. But yeah, anyway, I'm running out of time. I'm sure quite a few of you have the same kind of issues with your faith that kind of comes and goes. Um, and yeah, and I'm sorry that I'm finding new, possibly controversial things to believe in. But it all has to be for the self-preservation so I can do what I thought he wanted me to do. Anyway, so just a bit of a vlog, a bit of a random chat. Hopefully I've given you some things to think about. I hope you will check out Holly Daisy Rose's YouTube page, even if not for the crystal healing aspect, but for her takes on bipolar and depression and mental health issues, because she has some fascinating insight. She's used some really alternative therapies and is on a very alternative medicine regime that I found fascinating to learn about. And I guess I'll speak to you soon when I'm feeling a bit better, and I'll let you know about Monday. Take care. Bye.